One of my coaching clients was telling me he needs help with creating the lead follow-up system for his seller leads, and then how to map that into the CRM. So in today's video, let's do that. Some of you may have noticed, I think about 2 or 3 weeks ago, I did the same thing for buyer leads. And so watch that video from about 2 to 3 weeks ago if you want to learn more about how to increase your effectiveness with lead follow-up with buyer leads. All right, guys, and if you haven't subscribed, please do that for me. It really helps my numbers. And if you haven't jumped on my weekly email newsletter where I'm just sharing the best insights from the week of coaching and the best podcast ideas, books, things that I'm looking at, make sure you go ahead and do that. Thanks so much. All right, let's dig into seller lead follow-up. Now, the fundamental is exactly what my father used to say. He said the problem we have today is we don't define what a lead is, and our standards are too low. And so I was just having a great conversation with a really very successful agent, Frank in Seal Beach. And one of the things he was saying is like, look, I got these leads all over the place. Open house lead of a neighbor, a farm lead, a internet lead of a seller. I've got referral leads here, and they're kind of all over the place. And so he's like, I really need to up my game. And so what I challenged him to do was create a strong, high standard definition of a lead. So here's what I wrote down. So write this down for yourself. I wrote down a verified seller. So to qualify as a verified seller, I have to have a full name. I have to have an address of the property. We have to have discussed where they want to move to, and I would have a note of that. We would have to have discussed their motivation, whether on it's emotional or logical. They must have discussed some motivation. We would have to discuss the ideal time frame of when they would do this. Okay? Now, those are some of the key quality and characteristics here. So let's stop for a second. So what we have probably right now is a bunch of kind of leads where you have partial names. You know what I forgot in there? I'm going to add in here contact information, contact info. Okay. So full, might have partial name, partial contact information, may or may not have an address. We may have discussed something about selling their home, but we didn't take good notes. So one of the strategies in lead follow-up is to look at what do we know and then what do we not know. And so the great news is what I just gave you is really the script for your follow-up. So if I went in and I looked at a couple of my leads today and I was like, okay, well, I've got Pat, not Patrick Ferry, not Patrick and Carly Ferry, it's just Pat. Oh, that's good. And I got Pat's phone number. Well, that's good. And it says seller lead. Okay, that's good. Or maybe I met him at the open house at Banana Street. Okay, so I know that I met him at the Banana Street open house and he's a seller and I got his first name and I got his phone number. All right. I have no idea. Oh, you know what? I probably did that open house back in the spring, so 4 months ago. All right. Well, let's give Pat a call. Well, now, Patrick, Coach Patrick, what do I say? Well, since we don't know anything, we don't really know where they would move to. Good question. Let's ask that. We don't know what the motivation of where they would move to, so let's ask that. And let's ask the ideal time frame. Cool. See, now the definition of a verified seller lead is also our script. Here's what we know, here's what we don't know. So, hey Pat, this is Patrick Ferry. I met you at my open house a couple months back, and I was just looking at my notes and I hadn't had a chance to follow up with you. And I just wanted to call and say hi and see if you still were interested in selling your home sometime in the near future. Well, yeah, we are, blah, 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 blah. Hey, you know what? I was looking at my notes and I didn't really get a chance to ask. When you sell this home, where are you planning on moving to? Boom, get the note. Gosh, what's important about this move for you, right? Why are you doing this? That's a great neighborhood. Why are you doing this? Motivation. I also didn't really get clarity, Pat, what would be the ideal time frame for you to get this done? Were you thinking maybe considering this before the end of the year, or are you thinking next year? Gosh, you're thinking possibly next spring. Wonderful. See, when I wrote the definition of a verified seller, this is perfect. This is also becomes your script. Okay? Now, let's go to the next things that for me would be the standard for a verified seller. So I know full name, contact information, address, discussed where they're moving to, discussed some motivation, discussed ideal time frame. The next thing I wrote down, number 7, was that they were a yes to a custom market report. Now, what do I mean by this? Between your MLS, between all of the website companies today, we could create a listing alert with active, pending, and also sold. And so if I said to a potential seller, hey, would you like me to set you up on a custom market report where I will send you an email, maybe once or twice a month, that showed you any new active, pending, or sold, any property that comes on the market or sells that will positively or negatively influence the value of your home. And then one of the lines that I've used is I said, this report will help you by the time that you and I meet, whether or not it's 6 months from today or 1 year from today, you'll know the value of your home just as good as me and better than probably any other real estate out there in the marketplace. Would you like me to set you up on that report? And obviously the answer is going to be a big yes. Okay, so then you get an email. So now I got the phone number, I've got the email, I've got a yes to an email market report. Boom. Next one I wrote down is getting a yes to earning the opportunity to sell their home. So Pat, I would love to have the opportunity to earn, or I would like to earn the opportunity to sell your home or to interview for the job of selling your home when the time is right. So may I follow up with you on a regular basis to see if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, answer any questions, in essence, earn the opportunity to interview for the job. What's the answer going to be? If it's a yes, great. But if they're like, no, my daughter is in real estate. Great, now I know. Take them off the list. Now, some of you might want to fight for the opportunity for that. Some of you might still say something along the lines of, well, if I can demonstrate, as a top agent that I can sell the home for more money or faster or whatever, would you at least give me an opportunity to interview for the job against your daughter? It's kind of weird, but some of you would do that. Great. As long as they said yes, I'd be willing to interview you. You have the opportunity to earn the right to do the interview. Fine. Cool. Next is that they agree to some reasonable follow-up, which I think we just discussed. And then the last thing is that they would be a yes to meet when the time is right to discuss how to prepare the home for sale. Now, what am I talking about here? Well, guys, step 1 to putting their home on the market is the decisions of how to prepare the home for going on the market. So wouldn't you like the opportunity to meet with them at their home to talk about what to do to prepare their home for sale? So for me, I want a yes that they would like to have me over when the time is right to discuss what to do to prepare their home before they put their home on the market. So I wrote down 10 things: full name, contact information, address, discuss where to move, motivation, ideal time frame, custom market report, yes to earn the opportunity to interview for the job, yes to agree to regular follow-up, and yes, that they will discuss meeting with me and discuss what to do to prepare their home for sale and to meet with me to do that before they go on the market. That's a pretty good verified seller lead that if we had that person in your CRM, wouldn't you be pretty consistently following up with them and checking in with them? The answer is heck yeah. Now, let's play CRM for a second. What we need to now do is we need to categorize, create a status, a category, or a tag that's appropriate for the time frame, right, of when they would want to potentially sell the home. And so I think there's 3 simple categories. Number 1 is within the next 90 days. Okay? If they're within the next 90 days, we can simply term that hot, however you want to do it. And if they are within maybe the next 6 months or some range of that, we can call it watch. And if they're about 1 year or greater out, we can call that nurture. Those are 3 simple terms I think everybody could agree upon. The next move, of course, in lead follow-up is if we label them hot, then what is yours and mine action plan from that point forward? Same thing with watch, same thing with nurture. So the simple way that I thought this through is if they were a hot, then what I would want to do is, they said within the next 90 days, I probably would want to check in with them every week. Now, before you get a little bit too crazy with me, one of the most famous questions that my dad asked, he said, do we lose more business from over following up or under following up? And so when you really think this through, we all lose tons of business from under following up, never over following up. No one ever gets upset with us that we reached out too often. Now, what they do is they might ghost us a little bit, but most of the time what I've learned about people ghosting us, right, for some of my friends where they ignore us, ghosting us, very young of me to say that, but ignoring us or ignoring your call, what I found is most people are actually being respectful by saying, hey, I'm not ready. I don't want to pick up the phone with them because I'm not ready. If I pick up the phone, I don't want to waste their time or mine. So there's nothing wrong with them, per se, ghosting you, ignoring you for a week at a time or 2 weeks or 3 weeks or a month. If they said they're somewhere within the next 90 days and we followed up with them every week and they kind of ignored us for 45 days, that's okay, because really probably on the 60th day they finally pick up. Now, on the 60th day when they finally pick up, you've called them 4 times and they didn't answer the phone. What they usually say is not, what a jerk you are for calling me that often. What they usually say is, wow, you've been so persistent that you've earned the right to sell my house. That's usually what is said, which is counterintuitive to what we're all thinking about, where we think, oh, they're ignoring us and they probably hired someone else and they probably hired, their cousin Susie and Patrick. I stopped following up with them because they never answered the phone. Guys, they never, they basically said, we're going to sell within the next 90 days. We're a yes to all of these things. Just do the follow-up. Just follow up. Now, here's one more trick to this game. See, if we get them on the market report, now you can open up the market report once a week, make the quick phone call, and just do it very simple. Hey, if there's any question you guys have, I was just looking at your market report. Prices are continue to go pretty well. The market's going pretty strong. If you have any questions, let me know. Whenever you're ready to meet about and discuss what to do to prepare your home, let me know. I'll check in with you next week. Have a great day. Then open up the market report, take a look, see if there's any active pending sold, anything notable, and then send it. Take one of those things and send an email. Hey, I was just looking at your market report. Congratulations. This comp right here is a really good one for you guys. Have an awesome day. Let me know when you guys are ready to meet. Bye. Boom. Send. Off and running. That's it, guys. See, if they were a verified seller and achieved all of those 10 items that I discussed, and they gave you a 90-day window doing this weekly, no problem. You're happy to do it. Okay? Now, if they were a watch, they were within 6 months, then my thought is maybe every other week makes sense. Same script. Hey, just checking in, see if you have questions, need anything, let me know. Have an awesome day, right? Open up the email, take a look at their market report. Hey, congratulations. Hey, this is a notable under contract. I'll be keeping an eye on this one once it closes. This is going to be something that's going to be a good comp for you. Have an awesome day. Let me know if you need anything. Bye. Every other week, right? Again, they may ghost you for, if they're 6 months out, they may ghost you for 90 days. It's okay. That's fine. At least you've earned it by paying that level of close attention. Now, and again, remember, if they're a verified seller, they've earned the right for you to commit to this level of effort. They deserve it. If they are a nurture, they're 12 months out, hey, once a month, give them a call, once a month, open up the email, do a quick little note, send it on to them. So guys, there we go. There's the 2 ways to increase the effectiveness of your seller follow-up. Number 1 is agree to a definition of a verified seller lead and set a high standard for what that is. And then number 2, create status names that have a specific time frame action plan that is easy for you to follow up. And this, my friends, is how we're all going to dramatically increase the number of appointments that we book from our seller lead follow-up. If this is helpful for you, please make sure you give it a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And if there's anything I can do to help you guys out, let me know. Have an awesome day.